Welcome everybody to Goral or Gorali, Gariel, however you say this map. Where's the tractor? Let's hop in and let's drive around the map a little bit, and then I'll tell you what we are doing. And here we go. Where are we going? Let's go out here and turn right from the main yard. So I'll just let this map introduce itself, and I will tell you what I'm doing while I'm driving. So, you may know of another YouTuber called Sittenhere. He frequents the FS UK forums on a decent amount, and I actually met him when he was testing, or he offered to test my map of Central Illinois that I am making. And well, I was making it for 15 and I just ran out of time, so now I'm converting to 17. Anyway, that's when I first met him, and we're both doing YouTube videos, and I thought it would be fun to try and do, not necessarily something where we're always together, because with different schedules and stuff. But basically, how this is gonna work is we're both gonna be on a server together. Whoa. We're both going to be on a server together, making our own videos, both on the same map, so we'll be taking care of the farm, different points. I don't know exactly what that will look like, if it'll be me doing animals and him doing arable, and we'll come together at harvest, or, if it'll be... I don't really know how it's going to look, but that's basically the plan for now. We're just gonna do a server together because I'm tired of feeling like a lonely farmer, so I think it'll be fun to run a farm together. And so I plan on probably doing that twice a week. I'm not sure what his schedule is, but of course we'll, link each other's channels and schedules, and maybe we'll try to even make one common playlist with, the videos in an order that they were published. So I don't know. Well, we can figure that part out later, but that's the plan. So now we just have to figure out a map to play on, and our tastes are kind of the same, so we've narrowed it down to two. This is one of them, however you say the name. It's a Polish-looking map in, somewhere Poland, and just driving around looking at it now. It looks pretty nice. My biggest concern is most of these fields, I mean, there's, oh my goodness, 100 and some fields. That's a lot of fields. But my biggest concern is that I'm not sure. Well, I mean, I guess there are some bigger fields, 90, 56, 2. There's some bigger fields in there, but a lot of them are small, and I don't know. I don't like, I do always like maps how they have the animals together. This map, they're pretty far spread out. The pigs up there, sheep, and then cows. So that'll take a little bit of work if we decide to do animals. But again, that's not even something that I'm sure we'll do. What I typically do when I start a map is I say, okay, how much would a bank realistically loan me? And so say like $2 million, and then I go buy fields and equipment based on whatever that amount is. I say, hey bank, here's my business plan. Like, okay, yep, farmer, sounds good. And I go from there. So this is actually a good looking map. I do like how, let's get into town so it stops feeling so wide and open. It's got a nice mix of open spaces, and then when you get in town here, it looks like it'll be a little bit more closed. Actually, let's just stop driving that vehicle, and let's switch to a truck, and we gotta go with black. Oh yeah, no, red. It's red because if it's red, it goes faster. That's it's a little Warhammer 40K joke. Vehicle. Alright, let's get on with it. Looks like there might be a back exit there. Got a nice little looking store here with some vehicles. So I wonder if that gate is probably automatic closing at a certain time, so you can only get vehicles at a certain time. That's a guess. Not for sure there. That is really expensive. Anyway, I like the feeling of this town. It feels like you're actually driving through a little town here. It feels really well put together. And overall, I really like this map. It's got a nice mix of everything, and I think we can scale into it. The reason we both like these maps, I think we both like kinds of maps where, I don't know. I'll just stop there because I don't know where I'm going with that. Um, let's just finish there. I think we got a good feeling of this map, and we'll switch over to the other one. All right, and here is the other map. It is called Vol Farmers or Vale. Vol Farmers. Vol Farmers is the name. I believe that is short for Valley, maybe? Anyway, let's get in a tractor here and see what this map is about. There seems to be some more detail here going on in the farmyard. This map is from marhu.net. Marhu. Anyway, let's drive around here. Got, looks like a garage, workshop area, some seeds at the home farm. This isn't really a total tour, so I'll just stop driving around now. It's more of a get the feeling of the map and decide what we're gonna do. Let's drive, oh, I was gonna say let's look at the map. Let's look over here. We've got storage for just about everything you could imagine. Oh my word, there is, oh wow, this looks like, okay, so this is a multi-fruit map, but it's also, it's made for seasons, so I wonder, let me scroll, oh, awesome. So it looks like this guy went in and he made a proper seasons file for all these other crops. That is, that's pretty, okay, so there'll be definitely a lot more variety if we wanted on this map. Let's take a look at the overview. So some decent field sizes, not, I mean, it doesn't have no 100 fields, but that's not necessarily, you know, I don't know if we'd ever be able to buy 100 fields if we farmed that field the rest of our lifetime. But I this map looks like it could be pretty good. It's got a lot of sell points. Lots of storage. Okay, so let's just do a little tour of this map. Let's go out here into the fields. You definitely feel like, okay, a fermenting silo. Oh yeah, let's look at the animals. That is not a deal breaker, remember, but I do like, okay, so sheep and cows here at the home farm area, and what is that? No, sheep over there. Pigs and cows at the home farm. I do like that. I like at least two together. Just, I don't know. Honestly, it's ease of use, but it's also kind of what I see here in central Illinois, where people, the few people who have livestock, they're on their own farm, at least from what I've seen from the side of the road. Granted, I mean, for all I know, they could have their home farm somewhere else. It just looks like a different farmstead, and really oh man, that is muddy. Let's skip over there. Let's drive this way. I think this is more of the map. So even though there's not as many fields, they're still pretty good sized. What is that one's really small. What is the biggest field? 54, and we own, so that's 50. So it's just over there. Probably on the other side of that hill, I think. So there's still some pretty good sized fields on this one. Let's drive by 56. That'll give us a good, 56 is probably, it looks like it's slightly on the large size of fields for this map, but it's pretty close to an average size field for this map. So let's look and see what it looks like here. It is a fairly decent fairly decent size. Okay, so actually, they almost look, in some ways, I don't even know if, in some ways it feels almost smaller than the other map. Lots of small fields. Just a different style of playing, maybe. Now let's keep on driving here. We've got, what is that, a little town over there? Oh, that's right. I do remember on the description, this guy said it was a... I like the trees that they put throughout the map. It really kind of feels, well, I mean, there they kind of look ugly. I actually don't really like poplar trees. But up close, it kind of gives you a feel of nice little separation between the fields without, you know, total hedgerows. Let's turn in here. Anyway, as I was saying, the author did say that this was basically a reproduction of Goldcrest Valley, where, I mean, you know, it's totally new, but he just used a lot of the same buildings, so. So, you know, you might feel some similarities with the similar buildings, but I don't know, it looks like with all the different crops and the variety, there's enough to keep. What is all this stuff? Bio oil? Oil? Oh, there are fishies in there? We got fish in there. We get, what is this? Oh my goodness, this is those are pallet production. This is you know, I didn't really look at this map. I bet you this is really this is a production map. Whoa! Okay, so I forget on the more realistic mod how easy it is to flip a tractor, and because in realistically you wouldn't go around a turn that fast. And I don't have my steering wheel, that's my excuse, so I wasn't using my steering wheel. But let's look at this real quick. We have, I don't know, sometimes you get a little window with, oh, there we go. So you put in fruits and you get back forage, digestate, and gas oil, which I'm guessing the gas oil is fuel that you can use in the tractors. That's interesting. What is Cazola? Okay, so Cazola must be wait, is that their name for canola? That kind of looks like the canola symbol. Maybe not. Cazola. What is Cazola? What does that look like? What does that look like? Cazola. Oh my goodness. Look. Wow. There are a lot of different production buildings on this map. Wow. Holy Cazola. That is just, okay, that is a lot of stuff. That's a lot of, wow. Okay, we'll just ignore that tractor. That didn't happen. Let's just run across this muddy, flat area. Let's look at some of these others. Wow. Okay, so every single one of these, oh my goodness. So it looks like you sell most of them at the, what is that, the farmer's market and the market? Pretty good prices on those too. Wow. But they probably take a lot of input and work. I don't know. This could be an interesting map, although not that we'd have time to figure it out based on my other, you know, about to Monday. I don't even have time to do the things that I'm doing, let alone venture into any kind of production. So I don't know if we'd have time to explore all these. Well, you know, I think that's we're playing with another person, so twice as many people. I don't know. This could be a really interesting, fun map. I've never been big into the production maps, but I don't know. This could be something fun to do. Explore with another person, figure out another language, and translating whatever the heck, however these things work. I mean, this I don't know. It'd certainly be an adventure. Would it be a fun adventure? That's the question. I think that I'll conclude this video, and unless I find another map, this will be the last one that we'll be looking at, and we'll take it from there. So, based on the next video, you'll know what map we have decided on. Thanks for watching, guys. Unless I find another map. Bye.